Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone and Dr. Hasrul. Today group 8 we will present about friction effect. Next. Okay, this is our group member Nabila Nelis, Amira Afrina, Nur Hidayah, Muhammad Asri and Jordan Lee. Okay, this is the content of this slide. First is introduction, methodology, experiment setup and data collection, design expert, regression model and conclusion. Okay, first we have to know the introduction. So what is a design of experiment? Design of experiment is a branch of applied statistics that deal with planning, conducting, analyzing, and interpreting control tests to evaluate the factors that control the value of a parameter or group of parameter. DOE also a powerful data collection and analysis tool that can be used in a variety of experimental situations, and it allows for multiple input factors to be manipulated, determining their effect on a desired output, or we call it response. Okay. In the DOE, we have a key concept on creating DOE. First is blocking. Blocking is when a randomizing a factor is impossible or too costly. Blocking lets you restrict randomization by carrying out all of the trials with one setting of the factor and then all the trial with the other setting. The second one is randomization. Randomization is refers to the order in which the trial of an experiment are performed. A randomized sequence helps eliminate effect of unknown or uncontrolled variable. And the last one is replication. Replication is a repetition of a complete experimental treatment, including the setup. Next. Okay, DOE is can use using a design expert. So first, design expert is a provide powerful tools to lay out an ideal experiment on your process, mixture or combination of factors and components. When in doubt, build its style via inliner power calculation and the ability to add block and center points. Design expert also design wizard and intuitive layout such as the spotlight configuration of two-level factorial, making all far easier than you have even imagined. So the objective for this project is to identify the significant factor and interaction. The second one is to determine the optimal setting that will maximize friction effect of the car with different type of surface. And the third one is to measure the time taken for the car for reach arrival point. The scope for this study is, in this study, there are three levels are considered for each vector and only three replicate for each run. The significant level alpha is equal to 0.05 is used for analysis of variance, or we call it ANOVA. So next, I will pass to the Mira for the next presentation.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank all right, thank you, Daya. Next, I will present about the methodology that we use to do our experiment. All right, the use of three factorial ANOVA approach to discuss the friction effect of the toy car. So the factor used for our experiment are the mass of the car. We use 100 gram and 200 gram. Next is the height of the slope, 6.5 centimeter and 13 centimeter. Lastly, the surface of roughness. We have smooth surface and the rough surface. Next. Next is response. The dependent variable is an experiment that is repeated several times that are also referred to as replicates with the same variable and levels. Response may consist of groupings of factors and level combined, individual factors and level combined, or the complete design. So in this project, the response has been recorded for 3 times. So two-way ANOVA, a statistical test called analysis variance ANOVA is used to examine how the means of different groups differ from one another. Next, I will pass to Jordan for the experiment setup and the data collection.
All right, thank you, Amira. So moving on, we'll be discussing about the experimental setup and also the data collection. So basically, the experiment is set up using cardboard boxes and only cars, toy cars. So the slope of the experiment will be created using cardboard boxes to create a ramp, and also the finish line will be marked using a Scotch tape with written finish line. Next. So the first variables of the mass of the car will be weighted using this toy car, approximately 100 grams, and with two toy cars, it will be approximately 200 grams. So this is the difference between the mass of the car. As for the height of a slope, we will be manipulating it with using two cardboard boxes and also one cardboard boxes. So for one cardboard box, the height will be measured in around 6.5 cm. Well, if using two cardboard boxes, then there will be 13 cm. Next. And also for the surface roughness, you differentiate it by placing a smooth plastic covers on the ramp to create a smooth surface. And as for the rough surface, we'll be applying glues and also some rough sands to create a rough surface. So for the data collection, as mentioned, the summary of the variables, the factors, and also the constant variables that are kept, and also the corresponding variables are summarized in the first table on top. And as for the data collected, will be from 3 replicates for each setup, is shown in the second table below. Next, I'll pass to Ashri for the explanation of design expert.
Thank you, Jordan. Now let's move to design expert. The data has been put inside the design expert. This is the result of it. The first one is normal plot, and the second one is Pareto chart. We can see that factors A, C, and AC have positive effect to the time taken, which is the greater of this factor, the greater of time taken. And factors AB, B, BC, and ABC have negative effect for the time taken. And this is the ANOVA that we get. Based on this p-value, we can see the value of the p-value of B, C, AB, AC, and BC and ABC are significant. And this is the fit statistic. This is the interaction between each part. The first one is the interaction between A and B. The second one is the interaction between A and C. And the third one, the interaction between B and C. And lastly, the interaction between A, B, and C. This is the table of constraint. From this table, based on the objective, our second objective is to determine the optimal setting that will maximize friction effect of the car. So the maximize friction effect, we get the solution number 9, which is the mass of car is 200, the height of slope is 6.5, and the surface roughness is 1, which is rough. We get the time travel taken 1.545. And this is the factors and the point prediction for run 9. Next one, I will pass to Nabila Nenis on regression model.
All right, thank you, Mama Asri. So for my part is regression model. Next. All right, regression model is to find a new gamma as shown in the calculation here. The gamma is we gain from the calculation is 1.07 as the output that you can represent as the new calculated mean. So in this project, we conducted an experiment to gain a mean value. Next. Right. For the sorry, as you can see in the complementary experiment, the value of the mean is 1.27, which from both mean that we gain in the calculation and also for the calculation that we calculate using regression model and also the experiment that we have conducted, we come out to calculate for the error. An error was occur since the time taken was too short, which is plus minus 0.01 second. So since the time is too short, the value is too sensitive. This is the reasons of why an error was occurred. So using a formula as error of percentage, we come out with the percentage for both mean is 69%. Next. So for the last part of our presentation is the whole conclusion for our experiment. Next. Okay, in this experiment, the utilization of DOE, design of expert, is turned out as the superior approach to experiment design. More interaction studies can be conducted using DOE. This method can allow us to analysis of a full factor design through statistical method. So the impact of each factor can be visually represented in a many type of chart. In this study, design of experiment can prove to be more effective in determining the optimal setting to maximize time taken for the car twice to reach the 80 cm of finishing line. It empower us to formulate a statistical model that predicts result based on the interaction of the three factors and their combined influence. That's all from our group. Thank you.